Ahoy, shipmates! Looks like a rather lovely day in the port of Southampton. Let's have a quick check on the weather. Oh, look at that gentle breeze, about 9.2, gusting to 10 knots. Temperature of 15.3. Looks like the wind has been picking up this afternoon. Got 2 ships for departures today, shipmates. Any second now, we will have the P&O Aurora. She's here on the Ocean Terminal, 46 berth. And then a bit further up is the Queen Mary 2, departing at 5. If she departs at 5 o'clock on the dot, should be on screen round about, I'd say, about 5:15, 5:20. By which time Aurora, which is here, probably down by Cashel Spit, so it'll give us some good coverage this evening. A quick look round on the cameras, shall we? Come on. There we go. So this is from the Netley cam. It's a bit cloudy and overcast, if you ask me. What's going on from the Cows cam? Oh yes, it does look quite overcast over mainland Hampshire. Itchin cam here, that'll give us a close-up of the dock head. And I'm currently at the farm, and at the farm here we've got some blue skies. Let's have a quick what I've noticed is with Aurora, you can't actually see any of the lines, and I don't have the radio, so I don't know what is happening. Can't see any lines there, can we? Just about make out Aurora on the bow of Aurora. Let's have a look down the stern, shall we? Perhaps something that's... Oh, I can definitely see smoke coming out of the funnel now. That's a good sign. He's building up steam, ready to depart, one would think, wouldn't you? Let's have a quick look at the stern, see if there's... Oh, I can see some lines back there. I've been having problems with cruise cam lately, but it seems to be working well now. This little chap, Zhou Young in China, sorted it out for me. What's going on? Can we see any? I can't see any lines here either. That's one thing you notice with a ship like Aurora compared to Iona or Avia. Very much smaller, so you can't see any of the lines. Looks to me like that says terrace pool, wouldn't you say, shipmates? Can't quite see. Zoom in a bit more. Make it extra large for my terrible vision. Ah, that does indeed say terrace pool. Oh, looks like they've got some hazard tape there for... I'm guessing that's a hot tub. Hot tub out of action, perhaps. We do have a few shipmates down at the terrace pool. They'll be enjoying the cocktail first sail away. Not going to get a sunset like we've had previously. Nonetheless, I think it's a pleasant afternoon. Keep an eye on the stern here, see if anything going on. I can't remember, I'm pretty sure one shipmate said they'd be on this cruise, so hopefully they're going to be waving. I don't remember which shipmate that was. Let's have a quick look in the chat. What's happening in the chat, shipmates? Oh, hi there, Etienne. He's our spanner from... Well, Etienne is our spanner over here on the Cows cam. He's over here, pretty much. This is what he sees from the Isle of Wight. And he does a sterling job of keeping us informed of things happening on the island. Hi there, Deborah Speller. Oh, hi there, Babe Blue, one of our newer spanners. Doing another sterling job of keeping me informed of what's happening. Oh, ahoy there, Tizzy C. And ahoy there, BP. And ahoy there, Pack Andrew. And ahoy there, Sue Hawkins. And Pack Andrew says, Farmer Giles. Well, actually, this afternoon I've been out on the field. I was spreading some seeds, mainly on the right-hand side. There's a fence roughly in the middle of the picture there. Well, the right-hand side, I've been seeding this ground with a mix of different seeds. And I've walked 3.5 miles with the seeding machine. And I know it. Certainly feel like I deserve a beer this evening, which is what we're going to do this evening. We're going to find a lovely country pub somewhere and enjoy a post-farming beer. Ahoy there, Edward Hall from El Paso in Texas. Oh, good to have you on board, shipmates. I've been to El Paso a few times. Ahoy there, Barb B. And ahoy there, Elizabeth G. We've seen the activity. There's lots of people on the stern, isn't it? It looks like the sun's starting to come out. I wonder if we can see that on Netcam. Netcam. Yes, it is. Look, it's getting a bit brighter, isn't it? Yeah, definitely getting a bit brighter. Excuse me, I'm just to blow my nose. I think I've got seeds up there. Oh, cracky. Boy there, Gregory Percival Sculptor. Now, with the infamous Fox, it's going well. He asks how it's going. Well, it's going very well, shipmates. Oh, yes, in case you don't know. Oh, hang on, I've got a button here. Good button. Here we go. In case you don't know, I am the captain of the Solent Ships YouTube channel. And welcome aboard, shipmates. We are here for the departure of Queen Mary 2 at 5 o'clock. Like I say, on your screens for about 5:20. And the departure of Aurora, right in front of us, slightly late, due to depart at 4:30. Just check. Yes, there's still a bit of smoke coming out of the funnel. That's a good sign. Unfortunately, due to the size of Aurora, we can't actually see any of the lines to know if they pulled the lines in. And I haven't got the radio working here because, like I say, at the moment I'm up here on the farm, and I was a long way from the port of Southampton. P&O Aurora is, I believe, I must work this out one day because I think I say it every time. Pretty sure she's possibly the oldest ship in the P&O fleet. Hang on, there's some disturbance going on outside. Someone started up some sort of device for things, some sort of weed whacker. Sounds like a wasp, but it's not quite working properly. Oh, now it's working. Oh, hang on, let me close that window. That's one of the hazards of broadcasting from the countryside. Don't get weed whackers in port. You know, outboards maybe. I suppose they're not too dissimilar. Where was I? Oh yes, Aurora. I think I will check this one day. I say I will. I really will. I think Aurora must be one of the oldest, if not the oldest, ship in the P&O fleet. Maiden voyage was 1st of May 2000. That makes her 23 years old. And a couple of days. I do wonder. I think Aurora's on the move. I'm going to hazard a guess. I wonder how much longer she'll be on the fleet before she gets retired to one of the lesser prestige lines to sail out her days somewhere in the Caribbean or the Mediterranean. Very popular. Quite a few shipmates say they really enjoy Aurora and Ventura, one of theirs. So people like the older ships. Oh, we've got a lot of shipmates on there. Oh, Ramsey Nesbitt, ahoy there, shipmates. Ahoy there, Glennis Bratt. What else we got? Ahoy there, Anne Savage. And ahoy there, Bash Drums. It says even age 23. Aurora looks good. Yeah, I agree. She does look good. Actually, she must have been checked, but she must have been painted recently because I can't see any rusty stains, which is a good sign. Quite like the stern of Aurora with this sort of amphitheatre design down to the pool terrace. Terrace pool, as they're calling it. Oh, that infamous Fox says it's only 85 days, 16 hours and 20 minutes until they cruise on Pam and Aussie's Iona. Pam and Aussie's? I heard of Pam and Aussie before. I thought perhaps there's going to be some movement, but I can't see any. What's going on here then? Oh, I've missed my radio. Need to connect to the radio again. Yes, and one of our helpful spanners, Kevin Tusi, I couldn't run this channel without all the helpful spanners. No, way more than I do. Has a list of P&O ships, and indeed Aurora is the oldest at 2000, and Arcadia 2004, and Ventura 2007. So we do wonder how long Aurora will be around for, don't we? Ahoy there, Martin Evans. Says hello to everyone. And ahoy there, Anthony Anson says Aurora is an ideal size for a cruise ship. Nice, personal, not too many passengers. No, you're absolutely right. Maximum passengers is at 1874 compared to the likes of Iona with 5,200. Frankly, that's 3 times the number of passengers there. Quite impressive. Oh, there, Lynn Morris says, do I ride any of the horses? No, I do not ride the horses. I did try once and didn't end very well, so no, I don't ride the horses. Bet on the horses, feed the horses. And that's probably about as far as I go. I do enjoy watching them at the racing, but I don't ride. Not anymore. One last thing about farm cam. Will farm cam be a fun feature? No, I'm returning back to the ports tomorrow, so I should take farm cam with me. However, I'm considering maybe making it a permanent feature. We'll put a camera up here for it. Alternatively, maybe bunny cam, because there's been an awful lot of bunnies in the field. They could have a camera on them, that's for sure. Oh, there, Michelle Roberts says they'll be going on Iona to the fields on the 22nd of July. That's probably a better time of year than when I went. When I went to the fields, it was -8C wind chill, which wasn't very pleasant. Now we can see lots of people here on the stern of Aurora. Looks like they're getting a good view of the ocean terminal. Guessing there's a couple of bars in this neck of the wood. Maybe there's some people swimming in the terrace pool. Well, ahoy there, the builder 7913 says how long till departure? Well, departure is scheduled for about 15 minutes ago. So that's a bit of a mystery to me. We have Queen Mary 2 is departing at 5 o'clock. So at this rate, well, I'm not quite sure what's going to go on. I have Aurora here. We're looking at Aurora here at the ocean terminal. And then further up into the port is That's the rescue. That's a rescue ship. We don't want that. We actually want Queen Mary 2. There we go. That's Queen Mary 2 up, as you can see on the river test. It's actually pointing in the right direction for a change. So when she shoves off, she'll shove off a little bit and comes forward. I'm guessing they might have been waiting for this container ship to come in, but she's clearly in now. I don't quite know what the hold-up is. Maybe they'll change direction. Maybe it'll be the Queen Mary 2 that departs first. Let's look to see if we can see any waivers. Now you can see compared to the modern ships, very different in design. Looks like we've only got visible 3 levels of balconies, whereas when Iona's import, there are lots and lots and lots of... we must be able to see about 7 or 8 layers of balconies. It's absolutely amazing. Well, there, Marina Clark says, are those gorgeous horses Clydesdales? No, they're not. You're going to push my horsey knowledge now. Don't remember what breed they are, but I know they're not Clydesdales. I think one is a Palomino. The other one is a... don't know. Similar. You probably know more than I do. Plenty of people up on deck. Well, there, Jim Bob said, thought I was going to lose you in one of those holes in that field. Yes, my word, shipmate. When I was mowing the nettles earlier, I can show you over here. On the right-hand side, that big brown patch was covered in nettles about 4 feet tall. You could not see the rabbit holes. So as you're going along with the flail mower, busy cutting away, mowing away, getting rid of all those nasty nettles, and also the tractor disappears down a hole. Got to engage 4-wheel drive, and even that wasn't enough. Sometimes I had to use the old diff lock. Tractors at an angle that frankly is quite scary and shouldn't be. Everything's whizzing and spinning round. Stones and mud flying everywhere. Rabbits jumping out of the way. It's all a bit of a calamity, really. But we got through. We survived. The tractor survived, more importantly. And we've got quite a few people on their balconies there. Am I seeing some movement? Am I seeing some movement? What do you think? Are you seeing movement? No, I think it's just my eyes. Well, there, Anthony Anderson says, sad day when Aurora retires. It won't be replaced with a ship of the same size. No, yeah, good. No, I had quite a... Well, maybe, shipmate. Maybe the P&O will introduce a smaller ship. Something to cater for a different market. But I suspect you're right. I suspect she won't be replaced at all. I suspect the new version will be a much larger ship in the sort of Aurora... Sorry, in the Avia... Iona type category. And they'll probably, P&O will probably leave more ships for other lines. Spent some time on the Fred Olsen Balmoral last week. That was quite interesting. Much smaller ship. And that was courtesy of the channel sponsor, and that's Love Cruise. Cruise Specialists. He was kind enough to invite me to the CLIA conference here in the port of Southampton, where I got to see Fred Olsen Balmoral, Celebrity Silhouette, and P&O Avia over this course of 3 days. I was wined, dined, and had lots of fun, and had tours of the ships, and by the end of it I had sore feet and a sore head. I had a jolly good time. Recorded lots of video, which I've been editing up when I've not been in the field. But if you are in the market for a cruise, give Love Cruise a call. They are the specialists, and he can set you up with a cruise that matches your needs. If you've never been before, or if you're a bit of an expert, he'll get you a good price. But if you've never been before, he's very good at trying to match your requirements with a cruise. Particularly if you wish to go from the port of Southampton. Hoyley there, the Pack Andrew says that Britannia has to be his favourite ship. And Moira F says, shipmate says they've booked on Aurora in August 2025, so hopefully she'll be part of the fleet. August 2025. Well, yeah, I mean, that's almost, it's over 2 years away. It's very organised of you. I'm lucky if I know where I'm going for dinner, let alone what I'm doing in 2 years' time. Good old puff of smoke coming out there. I'm thinking something's going to be happening soon. Oh, I'm very pleased the camera's working nicely. It's been a bit jerky on the zoom lately. Just can't see any lines, can we? Can't hear the radio. Oh, it's just not very good, is it? Sorry, shipmates. Apologies for the poor quality of service and information this afternoon. But I have enjoyed the fact that cruise cam is working better. Now, can we see her here? Oh, can we see at the back? Can't see much at all, apart from lots of shipmates enjoying themselves on the terrace pool. Lots of empty lounges there. What's going on, people? Quite a nice day, weather-wise, isn't it? What was the temperature? Temperature was 15.5, and it looks bright. Admittedly, it doesn't look sunny. It's surprising how a few miles make such a difference. It's a bit cloudy there in the port of Southampton. It looks quite overcast. Whereas where I am, up in Essex, we've got almost totally blue skies. Aurora is off on a cruise to somewhere. To a 4-night cruise off to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Queen Mary 2, which we'll see, I will say shortly, at this rate, Queen Mary 2 will be departing first. Queen Mary 2 is departing further up the port, and she is off on a 15-night transatlantic crossing to New York via Le Havre in France. Not quite sure why you'd want to go to New York via Le Havre, but never mind, that's what she's up to. Well, the F1 Dave says he's in the Caribbean next January on Britannia. Oh, that's a good time, shipmate. You definitely picked the right place to be at the right time of year. Or is that the season, hurricane season? I'm not sure about that. Well, there, Marina Carter, so which would be your next cruise? Oh, I'm not sure if he's talking to me. I assume she is. Don't know, shipmates. Well, I was very tempted to take the Queen Mary 2 to Liverpool the other week, which is really cheap. I shall have to speak to my cruise expert at Love Cruise and see what he has to say. I've asked him particularly to keep an eye out for bargains. The captain does love a bargain. Well, there, Clive Pennick. He's in Suffolk. Yeah, I'm not far from Chelmsford, shipmate, so you're probably more the sort of Colchester direction, or as my friend likes to call it, Suffolk borders. I said to him, you're not Suffolk borders, you live in Colchester. And he says, well, it's on the Suffolk borders. Right, so what's going on here then? Nothing's going on here, is it? This is very disappointing. Let's check. So I'm just going to have a quick check, see what's going on here. Well, we've got Queen Mary 2 here. She hasn't moved either. At this rate, though, it's only 5 minutes to departure, so I wonder if Queen Mary 2 is going to go first. Aurora's down here on 46th berth. This is the ocean terminal just here. This is where we're looking at. Then the Netley Cam, which is down here, that catches the dock head here. So I'll show you that. So that's what we're seeing here. That's the dock head. And then Itchin Cam, which is at Southampton Sailing Club, which I must thank them for hosting the camera. And of course, must thank Netley Cliff Sailing Club for hosting the camera as well. Very good of these clubs to host the camera for us. Gives us some excellent views. So the Itchin Camp faces dock head from a slightly different angle. But I'm pleased to say I think I can see Aurora on the move. Yep, she's going back ever so slightly. She'll tend to go back just a jiffy first. I'll pull her away from the dock side, and then she'll pop it into drive and head off out. Same principle I use when I'm captaining very much smaller vessels. So interesting to see the same strategy on all vessels, regardless of the size. Yes, there's definitely some rearward motion there, isn't there? With it, Terry, as having been on Aurora, it wouldn't surprise him if she wasn't replaced when she retires with one of the monsters like Arvia and Iona. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would seem unlikely to me that P&O would produce a small ship again. I can imagine that the economies of scale mean that larger ships are more profitable, easier to run, probably provide more facilities on board for the paying passengers. I do appreciate there is definitely a market for the smaller ship. P&O will leave someone else to fill that hole. Or perhaps they will commission an especially small ship, a luxury small ship. Who knows? Now, in case you're wondering, this is the Aurora off on a 4-night cruise to the Netherlands, Amsterdam. Lovely city, Amsterdam. Recommend you take a visit if you can, or don't do what I did. And the first 3 or 4 times I went to Amsterdam was in the winter, where the wind blowing off the North Sea was so unpleasantly cold, I thought Amsterdam was the worst place in the world. Then I went in the summer, and I thought, wow, it's amazing. Now, let's see if we can find any waivers today. I'm not sure we'll get any waivers. I'm sure, definitely where shipmates said they were on this ship, heading for Amsterdam. Yeah, I've got that wrong, of course. Quite a few people out on their balconies. I see quite a few people up at the bow. There we go. We can see at the bow now of Britannia, of Aurora, with that Union Jack on the front. There we go. That's the well deck with the shipmates down there. Let's see what they're up to, shall we? Not just be checking on things, making sure they don't rub the dockside as they depart. Looks like there's 3 or 4 of them on the well deck. 4 of them, I think. Yeah. 2 blue hats and 1 white hat. I reckon the boss is the white hat. Blue hats are just your average shipmate. Oh, I see, he's got 2 well doors there. That's unusual. I've noticed that before. It looks like there's some portholes along there, so there must be quite a few cabins without balconies. I think that's a distinguishing feature of the older ships. You can see the P&O house flag there, flying in the breeze. So it's quite a decent day in the port today. We've only got weather gusting around about 10 to 11 knots, so very pleasant indeed. Temperature of 15 centigrade, and we are currently at low tide. Different styles of balconies compared to the modern ships there. Some of them have these sort of like enclosed balconies. There's one layer in the middle. It's really exposed balconies, and all the rest seem to be variation of enclosed balconies or portholes. I think that Queen Mary 2 has just started moving as well. Yes, Queen Mary 2 is just departing. All right, that's pretty good, isn't it? Lovely view there, wasn't that? Down the side of Aurora. I do enjoy that when you see them turning. And impressively fast they turn, isn't it? Considering the size of the ship. Amazing. I think there was a question about, because I said it's low tide. Let me have a quick yeah, low tide, yes. About almost just slightly past low tide at the moment. Someone was asking, will that affect Queen Mary 2? I think I saw that. Yes, well, no, it won't. Queen Mary 2's got a draft of about 10 metres. Southampton is a deep water port. Any vessel, it's all the water is clear, even at low tide, 18 metres. So there should be plenty of space for even the largest container ships to safely come in and out of the port of Southampton without any problem whatsoever. And yes, Queen Mary 2 is indeed on the move. There we go. It's Queen Mary 2 at the other end of the port. No, not the rescue tender. Well, the rescue tender must be board. Someone's left the rescue tender on. I'll make battery be flat on the rescue tender. Come on. No. There we go. Queen Mary 2, as you can see, she's just pulled away. So she'll be on screen probably about 5:30. In the meantime, we'll just go back to Aurora and see what's going on. There we go. There's the Hythe ferry there, just on the left. Left on that camera, and if we flip over to cruise camera, we'll see the Hythe ferry just on the right. Gives you an idea of the different perspectives from the cameras. If we can see on itching camera yet. There we go. Itching camera is giving us a lovely view of the tide being out. Look at all that mud out there. Boy there, Terry, says Queen Mary 2 just pulling off berth. I can see her from my house. Oh, well, excellent, Terry. Whereabouts do you live then, shipmate? Like a camera on your... Space for a camera on your balcony, perhaps? That we can get a view of that end of the port? Let me know, shipmate. It'd be nice if you could let us put a camera up. Boy there, Chris S. Who the hell's bells? Says 1 week today. They'll be on. I missed the name of the ship there. Queen Victoria waving a Welsh flag. I have noticed before how patriotic the Welsh people are. We do see a lot of Welsh flags on this channel. There we go. And here's P&O. The sky's starting to lighten up. We might get a decent sunset this evening, but that won't happen for quite some time. So I won't be seeing it on the channel this evening. There we go, that's the view from itching camera. You can see the mud for the low tide, and it looks quite elegant from that side, doesn't she, Aurora? Got a very pointy bow. Modern ships tend to have more of a blunt bow. And that distinctive stern as well, with something that's supposed to make it more fuel efficient with this sort of light lip. And that off goes Aurora, so we'll keep following Aurora for a good few minutes more as Queen Mary 2 is still pulling away from the dock side. There you go, she's pulled out a little bit further now. I imagine any moment now she'll start to head forwards. Should be on screen, I think, next 15 to 20 minutes or thereabouts. You can really see the low tide here on the itching cam. Lots and lots of mud. One thing you do notice with a smaller ship like Aurora, on a day like today, she will just disappear behind some of the infrastructure here in the Port of Southampton. So we have the grain silos at the end, and then there's the bridge of Aurora. It makes it very difficult to see what's going on. Look over on Cowes. Oh, it's sunny over in Cowes. Sunny over in Cowes. Also sunny where I am on the farm at the moment. It's very blue sky today, isn't it? You can see the sloped stern there. That sort of amphitheatre design on Aurora. Don't get that as much on the modern cruise ships. They like to pack them in even more. They tend to have quite a vertical stern. Plenty of that mud down there. Hythe Ferry there doing a sterling job, plying a trade between the Port of Southampton and the Town Quay and Hythe Ferry side. A little fishing boat there. How often do you see fishing boats in Southampton water? Sky's starting to pick up a bit of colour. I wonder if we'll get a decent sunset later. Oh, I'm just going to have a quick look myself at Queen Mary 2, see what's going on there. Oh, I think she started heading forwards now. Queen Mary 2 heading slightly forward. It's good. One advantage of having these slightly overcast conditions, we don't, particularly with Netley camera, you tend to look straight into the sun, so it would end up just being a shadow, where these conditions are actually excellent for a really clear view of Aurora. Ahoy there, Bradley Beaumont. And ahoy there, old man Mick 72 from Bournemouth. He's a local chap, local shipmate, mere hour away. Ahoy there, William Apps. Oh, ahoy there, Henry B's. Any more cruises planned? Well, actually, I was just mentioning that earlier. I'm trying to see what my good shipmate pal at Love Cruise, he said he'll try and hook me up with sort of bargain cruise coming up, and if you have any cruise needs, just drop him a line. Details in the description below. The last one was to the fields. We're thinking that probably we might go somewhere warmer. Not sure where that would be. Oh, look at that boat there, right on the mud. I hope he doesn't have shaft drives. It'd be no good for a shaft drive at all. It's probably got an outboard, I suspect. Yeah, I suspect we'll probably try and cruise somewhere a bit warmer this time. I'll try and remain cruising from the Port of Southampton, because I think that will be essential. Don't want to cruise from any old port, do you? I want to cruise from the best port. Holly William Apps says she's just a baby. Absolutely right, she's just a baby. Little tiny cruise ship baby. Well, then Michelle says, isn't she gorgeous? Rolling August, obviously travelling in August. Oh, there Mr. Paul says, sat down, Leon Solent having fish and chips. Absolutely, shipmate. The best place for a fish and chips is down by the water, waiting for a cruise ship to come past. Well, I should do a guide of the ship spotting here in the Port of Southampton. There are a number of locations that you can go to, some providing the refreshment of fish and chips. Well, there, Valerie Molskog says they'll be on the Anthem of the Seas in July. Can't wait to wave. Oh, thank you, shipmate. That's exactly what I'd like to hear. A bit of waving. That's good to hear. Thanks to shipmate Bay Blue for reminding me that Aurora is on a 4-night cruise to Amsterdam. There you go, there's that little fishing boat there as well. Just going to check the map, check in on Queen Mary 2. Oh, she's definitely moved quite a long way down the port, heading towards Mayflower Park. Just take probably, let's say, another 10 minutes maybe. Maybe a little bit more, and then she'll be on our screens. In the meantime, I can flick back to cruise cam now, because we'll be able to see the Aurora on the cruise cam here with one of the red funnel ferries coming up Southampton water. Another excellent spot to watch a cruise ship from, shipmates, is from a red funnel ferry, or the red jet. Slightly harder to coordinate that one because you need to get your timings right, but you should be able to see something. To try and give that a go myself one day. I always enjoy the difference in scale between the red funnel ferry, which looks quite big when you're on the water, and a smaller vessel. When you compare it to a cruise ship, they're quite dainty. Come on, focus. I just said how good you've been lately, cruise cam, and now you're not focusing. What's the matter with you? There we go. There you go. See, there's that small vessel there. Makes the red funnel look very big, and then the cruise ship makes the red funnel look very small. Such a wide variety of vessel scales on the water, especially here in the port of Southampton, where we have the biggest cruise ships in the world and the biggest container ships in the world. If you are enjoying this content, please do think about subscribing. I will be making some films shortly of when I went to Balmoral, Fred Olsen, the Celebrity Silhouette, and P&O RV at the weekend. So if you subscribe, hit the notification bell, you'll know when they'll come live, and also when I do live streams, which can be a bit hit and miss, depends when I can fit them in with my goings-ons. Hi there, Mr. Elvis 1906 says he'll be going on my first cruise next October from Southampton to the Caribbean on RV. Can't wait. Wow, you're on a relocation cruise you've made that. That's a good one. Cross the Atlantic on Arvia over to the Caribbean. Brilliant. Well, Vanessa Wells says, just realised I'm doing commentary today. Yeah, you're right. I have. I managed to fit it in after I was out there in the field this afternoon on the right-hand side there, basically doing the, whatever you call that thing with the seeding. Bit of seeding is what I was up to. So I can see quite a pointy bow on Aurora. $75,000 gross tons approximately. Length of 270 metres. Draft of 8 metres. It's powered by 4 MAN 14-cylinder diesels. almost 18, sort of 20,000 horsepower each. Unlike Aurora, the approximate fuel consumption is 300 litres per nautical mile. I think I worked that out. I think it was like something like 100. I can't remember what it was now. Like 78 yards per gallon. Or maybe it was less than that. Yeah, it must be less than that, mustn't it? Surely. Not a lot. Top speed's 24 knots. Like I say, 1878 passengers on board if she's at regular capacity. And a crew of 850. So quite a bit smaller than some of the other ships we see here in the port of construction, in the port of Southampton. Built, laid down in 1998 at a cost of 375 million, which pales in comparison to ships like Iona and Avia, where they're close to $1 billion. Well, I think there was a question about, does she have azipods? You know what, I don't know. Let's have a quick look. I shall Google that quickly. See if Aurora has pods. I don't know. I'd have to say I don't know on that one, shipmate. I'm inclined to say no. If the ship has pods, it means the propellers are on. Essentially, looks like shopping wheel coasters on the bottom of the ship, and they spin around all directions. Makes mobility a lot easier. I don't know about. Don't know about Aurora. I'm tempted to say no, mainly because it's a bit of a newer ship thing. Well, the William app says she does have pods. Well, there we go then. Well, there Julia Underwood says, why don't ships use the western Solent entrance exit? Well, it's a bit narrow. You can go two ways around the Isle of Wight, but also don't forget Aurora is heading towards Amsterdam, which means there's no point going that way. But my understanding is it's a little bit narrow. There's been a couple of instances with larger ships some time ago, and now they don't do it. Nothing disastrous, but they've decided not to go that way as far as I know. No real reason. Some of the smaller ships will depart that way, but otherwise they all go around past the fort, past Portsmouth. So look at Queen Mary 2. Queen Mary 2 is just passing Town Quay, or just about to pass Town Quay, so she'll be very shortly on the camera. Have a quick look. Oh, there we go. That's what's going on there. It's very clear out this day. You can just about see the ferry from Portsmouth to Fishbourne over there on the left-hand side of the screen. Oh, they're designed by Jensen. Says she is not a ship without pods. She's propellers with shafts. Well, that was my guess. Like I say, I can't find any information one way or the other. But my guess is that she's shafted rather than podded. Podded sort of tend to be a bit of a new thing. But, so I don't know either way. Unfortunately, I can't find anything out about that. Have a quick look again. Let's have a quick. Just normally, the best way I can find is to look for a photograph of the ship in dock and see what the propellers look like. That's normally a dead giveaway. Well, that's not. Which one's that? No, that's MSC Opera. That's podded. No, don't know. I can't draw a conclusion one way or the other, unfortunately. But my inclination was to say that it should be shafted, unless I could be proved otherwise. But chances of me being wrong are quite high. Well, Terry says she has propellers. Seems to be a consensus of opinion that she has propellers rather than pods. There we go. That would be my instinct on an older ship. Well, there William App says QM2 does. Yes, that's right. QM2 does have pods. Seem to have drifted off into a pod conversation here. Oh, then Leslie Clark says, really missed this during COVID, so glad it's back. Thank you, Captain. Oh, well, glad you liked it, shipmates. We're just waiting. We're watching Aurora depart down Southampton water now, heading out towards Amsterdam. And we're waiting for Queen Mary 2 to appear on screen, which I'm thinking it's going to be very shortly indeed. If I go back to the map here, Queen Mary 2, as you can see, is just here. That's coming past Ocean Terminal, so I'm thinking any second now we'll see Queen Mary 2 on the screen, for real, not just here on the map. I'm going to probably go back and have a look at Aurora, going past the Forley Terminal, SO Forley Terminal, the largest in Europe. Queen Mary 2 is undertaking a proper cruise liner adventure. She's going from Southampton to New York, transatlantic, via Le Havre in France for some reason. I'm not quite sure why stopping off in France, but never mind. Look at that now. That is a majestic sight, is it not? Got a lovely tug coming in from the left-hand side. No, of course, I'm kidding. I'm talking about the Queen Mary 2. Very distinctive silhouette there. That jutting line, the ocean liner style. Some say the only ocean liner left in the world. Quite a bit bigger than Aurora. You can see plenty of people up on the top there. I always think Queen Mary 2 looks really sharp, like especially with the blue hull with the contrasting white superstructure. It was very clean as well. Never seen sort of rust stains or bumper marks from the canards or something. Yeah, it's very good shape is Queen Mary 2. And we have one of the red funnel ferries here. Looks like the Red Eagle just coming into view as well. Can't see any waivers on their balconies. A little disappointed there. And again, Queen Mary 2 is very much like Aurora in having a sort of stepped amphitheatre style stern. And I would probably say, unlike any other ship that you tend to see coming out of Port of Southampton, or cruise ship or cruise liner, because I know people get upset when I call Queen Mary 2 a cruise ship. I really mean that she's not a container ship. She has a really bulbous stern, apparently modelled on a spoon. That was the inspiration for the design of the Queen Mary's stern. You can just about see the curves. They're quite difficult to see because blue paintwork makes it very difficult to see the curve. But I think you get an idea there, don't you? Beautifully standout, sharp red funnel as well, right above the Queen Mary 2 name. Got to be quite excited if you're departing port this evening, shipmates. 15-night cruise, transatlantic. Really is the way to travel. Aurora heading down to Cowshop, and you can just see the sea mark there on top of that green hill to the other side. She's just coming past the dock head. Getting close to it, I should say. Now, plenty of shipmates out on their balconies. Can't see anybody waving though, or any flags. No Welsh flags today, or Cornish flags, or flags from some sort of football club we had the other week. I don't remember the football club. Preston United or something like that. Doncaster Wanderers. I'm not sure what it was. There's the stepped stern of the Queen Mary 2. A little closer look, shall we? case you didn't know, she's a Cunard ship. You can see plenty of shipmates on the stern there. Probably enjoying the sail away party. Flashing lights. Guess there's probably some loud music playing. And I'm sure the rum-based cocktails are flowing. And Aurora getting quite close to the end of Southampton water there. Along with one of the red jets. Look at that lovely silhouette there. Side view of the port side of the Queen Mary 2. Ahoy there, Jack Pittman says, can't wait till August, till they're on Britannia. I bet you can't wait, shipmate. Ahoy there, Grant Warder says, Queen Mary 2, my home away from home. Wow, I must say, in that case, shipmate, you have a very fancy home. There we go. And I remember, don't know if you remember what we looked at when we saw Aurora earlier. You can see how much bigger Queen Mary 2 is in Aurora, quite visibly above all the buildings here in the port of Southampton. Lovely. Tide might be coming back in a little bit now. Let's have a look. Nope, wrong thing. Nope. Oh dear, it's all gone wrong here. Yeah, the tide's on the turn. There you see now the Queen Mary 2 just disappearing behind the grain elevators. Oh, there, Christopher Matthews says that he's noticed that the Queen Mary 2 has more visible lifeboats and rafts than Aurora. Yeah, you could be right. Probably a higher capacity of ships, so the lifeboats aren't necessarily much bigger. They're just more of them. And also, I believe I seem to remember reading there was some dispensation for Queen Mary 2 to have her lifeboats higher up because she's an ocean liner rather than a cruise ship. Means that they were less hidden or something like that. All sorts of nuances with lifeboats involved, as far as I remember. Well, there, Brad Nesbitt says, I think we've sailed over 30,000 miles on her. Blimey, shipmate. 30,000 miles? You've probably done more than some of the crew has. Thanks to the excellent spanner there. Baby says it's Queen Mary 2 departing for a 15-night return transatlantic crossing to New York via Le Havre, France. How wonderful is that? Oh, there, shipmate Jack Pepper says, something about, oh no, so William Mapp says pilots on board. Yes, the pilot is on board. The pilots will remain on board until somewhere just past the Fort of the Isle of Wight, and they'll get off. It's a requirement to have pilots on board while the ship's coming out of Port Southampton, if Port Southampton is not their home port. Oh, yeah, someone's asking about Queen Mary 2. Yes, I missed out. She was supposed to go transatlantic a couple of weeks ago, and apparently there was a technical fault. So she ended up staying in Port Southampton a little bit longer. There's Aurora, just starting her turn at the bottom. Look at the sun's come out a bit there now, doesn't it? She was supposed to go transatlantic, it didn't. A cruise was cancelled, so Cunard put on a round the UK cruise to Liverpool. 5 nights, and it was a 199 for 5 nights on Cunard inside cabin, and with a balcony cabin, 299. thought, how fantastic was that? Unfortunately, I couldn't quite arrange it in time. Apparently, they sold out in 2 hours. But that would have been a bargain. Well, there, Fox Lifestyle. She's almost 20 years old. Well, yeah, that's true, actually. Queen Mary 2 is one of the larger ships here in the port of Southampton. 345 metres long. So it's similar in length to the very big ships like Iona and Avia. Just slightly narrower and not as tall. 150,000 gross tons. I know sort of Avia and Iona come in at 165,000, so not a great deal difference. One of the biggest difference, of course, with Queen Mary 2 and the other cruise ships is that Queen Mary 2 had a top speed of 30 knots. 56 kilometres an hour for you continental types, 35 miles an hour in the King's units. This is distinctly different from most other cruise ships, where they typically have a top speed of somewhere in the region of 22 knots. This is why she goes transatlantic so fast. Capacity on board is about 2,700 passengers, with 1,250 crew. No word, unfortunately, today on how many passengers are on board. I suspect she's quite full. I've been hearing from various people that the ships at the moment are very full. Yeah, there's that red jet blasting past again. And we can see now that Queen Mary 2 is just down Southampton Water, getting close to Netley Cam. And Aurora is almost at cowshot speed. And there we go. There is the Aurora, just to make the turn around Netley Spit. And one of the red funnels following. Oh, there, Linda Ridd. There's hello from London. Got off Aurora today after a 16-night cruise to the Baltic. Enjoyed herself, getting back to normal on there. Excellent. It's good to hear that, shipmate. Glad you enjoyed Aurora. That's it. A lot of people seem to really are pleased with the smaller ship in the P&O fleet. A little chap out there fishing away. I hope you've enjoyed this evening's broadcast, shipmate. It looks okay weather-wise there in the port of Southampton. I'd have to say where I am on the farm, we've got blue skies, which would be ideal because we're just about to head off out to the pub for a well-deserved pint after our hard work on the farm. You can just see Queen Mary 2 coming into view here on the cruise cam. If you are enjoying the coverage on this channel, do think about subscribing. I'd just like to thank all of you who have subscribed. Thank you to all my Patreons, PayPal donors, and of course, mostly thank you to all the blue spanners who are in the chat, and they seem to know a lot more than I do and keep me informed of all the things that I can't seem to find out whenever I need to look for, because I don't know what I'm doing. Very distinctive bow shape, isn't it? Now, in front of the superstructure there are, in fact, spare propeller blades, effectively known as the captain's cufflinks. The black lines around the superstructure at the bow are supposed to symbolise hands sort of holding the front of the ship. quite sure I get the thinking behind that one, but you know, got to go with what the artists and people behind the inspiration tell you, haven't you? Still quite a lot of people up on deck. I guess it's probably 10 to 6, probably a bit early to hit the buffet just yet. Building up a bit of an appetite with all that fresh sea air. There we go. Looks very quiet out there on Southampton water today. Very calm as well. Surprised there aren't more yachts out there, although they're saying that's not enough wind, is there really? Certainly the chaps are out there fishing. Boy, the lid to rid. Hello, Captain. I think it should be the correct. It should be ahoy, Captain, but I'll let you off. Well, there's Stuart Productions 49 says going to see her at Hamburg. It's actually exciting. Oh, good for you, shipmates. Take a little trip to Hamburg and see Queen Mary too. Well, ahoy there, Darren Stevens says looking forward to a boarding Anthem of the Seas in a couple of weeks for a 12-night cruise to the Canaries. So I'm sure you'll have wonderful weather that time of year going to the Canaries. Could be a little bit choppy if there's a storm coming in, but don't let that put you off. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Let's just check on. There you go. There we can see Aurora turning. Oh, that's a big sailboat, isn't it? What's that? I think that might be. It's not as big as I thought it was. Could be Aurora 2, I'm guessing. Don't know. Could be. Not sure. Don't know what speed what that is. Very large though, whatever it is. Under power. Queen Mary 2 just disappearing behind the superstructures of the car parks here at the end of Port Southampton. You can just see in the distance the Aurora. Zoom in a bit, shall we? There we go. I'm just about to cross P&O Aurora. It's the other side of Cashot's bit. There you go. So normally when the ships are bigger, they're quite clear, but because Aurora's such a small ship, barely peeks over the top there. I do like those views when the ships pass. A couple of times we've had 3 ships crossing, so one in the distance there, one in like where Queen Mary 2 is, one where Aurora is, and then one further around near the Isle of Wight. Occasionally I had that. Quite special to see the 3 ships in view at the same time. There you go, there's the Aurora going past the Cashot Activity Centre. What they really cast is, do you say ahoy when leaving camps? No, you can just say, right. And actually, it's a good point, actually. Should be a proper exit procedure, but never mind. I don't mind too much. Let's see, really. There we go. Going past Netley is Aurora. Over on Cow's Cab, nothing just yet. Right, shipmates, well, I hope you've enjoyed that one. I do actually need to make a move. Need to take some Ukrainians to the pub that we're looking after. Have to show them the ways of the English pub. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. I feel like I've earned a pint after my 3.5 miles walking around the field, seeding it with a seeding machine. Oh, that's a good shot. Look at that. Oh, no, camera moved. Oh well. It was good while it lasted. All right, shipmates, I shall keep the cameras following, and I shall probably end the broadcast shortly. Thank you all for tuning in, and I shall see... Oh, actually, when will I see you next? That's a good question. Well, let's see. Friday, probably not Friday. Probably not the weekend. The weather's going to be good this weekend, probably out on the boat. Enjoy the sun, which seems like it's been a long time. Let's have a quick look. What's on? There's one. Oh, we've got quite a few. We've got 4 on Saturday. That would be good, wouldn't it? I'm pretty sure I can't do Saturday. I'll see what I can do. Sunday, we've got 1, 2 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. Don't know, shipmates. I'm a bit busy this time of year. So I shall keep you informed. But thank you all for coming on board. Until next time.